Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. I'm a 35-year-old gym instructor and I've been married to my wife 7 years now. Before she came along, I had a long and very serious relationship with this girl named Sarah. Sarah and I had dated throughout college and were engaged for one whole year before she decided to move to England. I suggested we do long distance, but she wanted me to come with her. I could not just leave my country and job and everything to go somewhere I might not be able to make a living. I thought it was just a hard phase and that she was just bluffing when she said that we're breaking up. But then she moved away and changed her number and everything. It was hard, but eventually I moved on. I met Bella, my current wife, at school. She was a science teacher. We hit it off and started dating, and now it has been 7 years to our marriage. Things are not like they are in the movies. We have fights, disagreements. Sometimes we stop talking for days. We also have a 3-year-old daughter. With both of us working, it becomes hard to take care of her, too. So, a few days ago, this happened. My wife and I were having an argument. The babysitter of Ollie, my daughter, quit that day, and we were blaming each other that you must have said something to her to make her quit. We had important things at work coming up, and we could not leave Ollie at home alone. So it was getting very tense between us. She started throwing away all the things that she thought I lacked as a father and husband. She even went as far as to say that I hardly support the family financially and that she earns more to provide for our daughter. This had me going for my car keys, and she told me to sit and listen to what she has to say. She tells me that she is thinking our relationship has expired and she's not sure if we should continue it anymore. I was surprised to hear that because I have been feeling that way too, but I was staying for her and Ollie. I thought she still wanted this and I needed to work harder at this family. I was wrong, of course. I told her, okay, went out to my friend who's a lawyer and asked him to get the divorce papers I got drafted 6 months ago. I came home and gave her a pen. She looked like she could cry. She started throwing a fit, how she was just mad and said it in the heat of the moment. She said she could not believe that I would bring divorce papers to her within an hour. If I had been planning it all along and wanting to get rid of her, she was making me beyond mad now. I was trying to make this marriage work, but she said she thinks we should end it. Now she wants to continue it? I had divorce papers ready because I tried to tell her that I don't feel like I can continue this marriage 6 months ago. Around Ollie's fourth birthday, when I posted a picture on Instagram with her, I got a text from Sarah. At first, I tried not to think of all the things she and I had together. She told me, Ollie looks just like me. She is so happy that I'm now married and have a family. It felt like catching up with an old friend, so I kept talking for a while. We decided to meet, and when we did, she told me how much she still misses me. It kills her to see me married with someone else, and she regrets ever leaving me here. I tried to be a rational man, but she was my first love. I had always dreamed of marrying her and having a family with her. So I decided to talk to Bella about divorce, but I could not. I could not do this to my daughter. I called Sarah and told her I'm sorry, but I have a family now and I need to be better for them. She respected my decision, but we still talked and sometimes met. I still love her. I love her more than I ever loved my wife, but not as much as I love my daughter. I was trying so hard to keep being the better father, but what Bella said flicked me off and I cannot do this anymore. I told her I'm sorry, but I do not love her anymore, and she was right when she said that we should not continue it anymore. Am I the a-hole for still loving my ex? It's been a month since I asked for divorce with Bella. We have been living in separate places. I stayed at the motel at first, but Sarah asked me to stay with her, to which I did not say no. Bella and I see each other at work. She's refusing to sign the divorce papers, saying that I betrayed her and cheated on her. Nothing physical happened between me and Sarah during the time I was with her. I loved her. I never stopped loving her, but I respected my wife enough to not go behind her back. She said she will not let me off the hook that easily. I begged her to not ruin any more lives and just accept the goddamn situation. I apologized to her that I loved her, but Sarah never left my mind, and it would be unfair to even her if I kept on playing the loving husband in our clearly very unhappy marriage. That Ollie does not deserve to hear her parents fight and yell at each other every night. She could just let me be happy. She even refused to let me see my daughter, called at her school and told them not to let me see her. This was getting too much. Sarah said I should take the help of the law, so I did. First, I filed for divorce. I thought that she would keep opposing to it, but it surprised me when she agreed for divorce. What she did not agree to, though, was my daughter's custody. She claimed I'm a cheater husband who is currently leaving her with a girl he cheated on her with, and she cannot let Ollie be in that kind of environment. Ollie's a good, friendly kid, and Sarah adores her. Before everything, when me and Sarah were engaged, we wanted to have a daughter and name her Ollie, after Sarah's best friend who passed away. That is why I named my daughter Ollie. Bella, of course, did not know why. She also liked the name, so we stuck to it. The thing is, Sarah loves Ollie, and she would never, ever been bad to her. Ollie has a mother, so Sarah will not be a replacement of a mother to her, but is not a bad influence either, like Bella suggests. And Bella works full time at the school. So do I. Sarah works from home for her small craft business. It would be totally logical for me to have Ollie's custody. Bella is nowhere close to talk it out, and I want nothing more than to be with my daughter. Update from the last time, guys. Everything in my life has been going perfect. It's been 3 years. My daughter just turned 7, and we celebrated her birthday with all our family and friends and my wife, Sarah. I got Ollie's custody because it defiantly made more sense. Bella was bitter about it all for months until she could not hold back and started coming over to see Ollie. She hated Sarah at first, but slowly realized how amazing she was to Ollie and that she was not trying to replace her in her daughter's life. She became comfortable with Sarah enough to form a light, convenient friendship. About a year of that, and I asked Sarah to marry me. She immediately said yes, and we wasted no time this time. We got married within a month. It was nothing fancy, just a court marriage at my friend's office. Surprisingly, Bella was happy to know that and congratulated us both. She even offered to take Ollie on a vacation with her so we could go on a little honeymoon. She herself went on vacation for a week with Ollie. She needed some time with only her, and we could see it, so we did not oppose. Ollie missed being with her mother too, since she can only spend an hour or two with her during weekends. We had the best time together. When we came back, Bella told us about a guy she was seeing that she really liked, and she wanted to have Ollie meet him. They went on vacation together. I was a little mad at the fact that she took Ollie on a vacation with a guy that she just knew for a while. Ollie's 7, and I don't trust anybody with her, but at the same time, I was happy for her. She and I were never good enough for each other. We were good while dating, but she should never have gotten married. I have no regrets, though. I have a beautiful daughter with her, and I would not change it for anything in the world. Now she's been dating that guy for over 2 years, and she looks way happy than she ever was with me, and I'm way happy that I ever was with her. Sarah is expecting a child, and we both wish for a boy. I am so grateful for the people I have in my life and how things turned out. I just wanted to share my story out here so other people can know no matter how disastrous it gets, it can always calm down and become something you have wished for your entire life. I don't blame you for still being in love with Sarah. I have been through it, though I have never been married. I have never got over my ex and could never love girlfriends after her. So NTA for still being in love with her, and I'm so happy it turned out great for you after everything. Bella deserved better, and she got it, so happy for it. You are the a-hole for that. You should never commit with another person if you're not ready to let go of the previous one. If you were so in love with her, you should never have gotten married and have a baby with another woman. It's just so careless. You gave the next woman a bag full of traumas. It's good that everything worked out for you in the end, but it does not always happen that way. I can imagine how crushed your wife must have felt when you said you had feelings for the ex who left you to live in another country after 7 years of marriage and a beautiful daughter with her. A-hole for me. So I, 25-year-old female, gave birth to our son almost a month ago. My husband, 27, is still pissed. My contractions were way more painful than I was expecting. The nurse helping me refused to give me an epidural, so it was only when I was moved to the actual labor room when a new nurse finally relieved some of the pain, and throughout all of this, my husband was still on his way. Half an hour passes, and after they fully settle me in, he arrives. and brought me some flowers. While I was glad he got me gifts, I would have preferred he got there earlier, but the moment passed, so I just forgot about it. He was joking around to try and make me feel better for most of my hours there it worked. After a while, I was 8 centimeters and felt the need to push, but the nurses said I wasn't ready yet, so I had to consciously keep my body from pushing. This was the most hair ripping, excruciating pain I have ever experienced. My husband went on, but after a while, I said that he should stop. It was getting annoying and that I just wanted verbal encouragement. He loosely did it, but made a whole joke out of it, like holding my hand, but quickly making it into a dog and making it bark or stroking my arm, commenting on how I'm soft like marshmallow. I told him multiple times to quit it and how he was stressing and annoying me, but it never stopped. And within that time, I went from 8 centimeters to 10 centimeters. So, as the nurses got the doctor, I told him to stop and that if he continued to stress me out, that I would ask for him to be removed from the room until our son arrived. He agrees and the doctor came. Everything was ready, pushing started, and my husband decides, "You've spread your legs further than that. You got this," was appropriate. With my stress being at an all time high, I lost it. I started screaming for him to leave, and since I was obviously in distress, the staff helped him get out. The birth went smoothly, but unfortunately, my peace was short lived. While our son was being cleaned up, I was moved to a recovery room, and my husband went off on me as soon as he came in. He was telling me that I was a bitch for not letting him see his son come into this world and that I was overreacting since all he was trying to do was cheer me up. And I told him that I clearly said he was stressing me, and I warned him of what was going to happen. He loses it. He starts screaming that it's unfair, that he can never have that moment back, and how the 9 months were not worth this experience. Security removed him from the hospital altogether since he was screaming, and all I got the 3 days I spent in the recovery room was pissed off text, just repeating what he said, but in different words. Ever since our son and I got home, he's been ignoring both of us. He has done nothing for us this whole month, not even change his diaper. I tried getting him to talk, but silence. He's staying at a friend's house, and I'm at a loss. AITA? You are not the a hole. You warned him multiple times, and he didn't listen. What he did was inappropriate and disrespectful. Yelling at you when you'd just given birth is, at the very least, bordering on verbal abuse. And the fact that it was so bad that he was removed by security for screaming cements that. Ignoring you and your son is also incredibly concerning behavior. I would get out. Major red flags. It doesn't sound like he respects you, and it doesn't sound like that is something that's going to change. NTA, I hope you get the help you need. If there's anyone else you can stay with or get help from, family or friends, I would encourage it. It's not an anger management problem if he consistently behaves the same way for a month and never stops feeling justified for what he did. A temper is getting aggressive for a few moments and then regretting it. This is a problem of entitlement and abuse. I'm a 25-year-old female and live with my husband and 2 sons, 3 and 6 MO. We have been struggling financially and both work in the service industry where it is very difficult to get time off. So my parents pay for my son's daycare so we can work. My sister Jess, 17, got into a prestigious Ivy League this year. She received financial aid so won't have to pay the whole insane amount of money. But housing, reduced tuition, comes out to about $10,000 a year. She also got into our local state school where she got a full ride and wouldn't have to pay anything. She decided on the Ivy when our parents agreed to pay. My parents recently sat me down and told me that they would no longer be able to pay for my children's daycare because they're paying for Jess's college. Their excuse is that they paid similar amounts to my college. I'm extremely frustrated because I went to the cheapest college available for me and think Jess should have done the same. We're all proud of her, but I feel like she's putting her ego over her nephew's. We simply cannot afford daycare, and I will likely have to quit my job, which may mean we could be evicted. I told this all to Jess on the phone and politely asked her to contact the state school to ask if they will still take her and to take a gap year if not. She refused, and I got angry and called her selfish and immature. My husband agrees with me, but our parents are mad and won't answer my calls. AITA? Why TA? She doesn't have to choose her college based on your financial issues. You have been lucky your parents have funded your childcare this long. This is not their job, it's yours. She is not being selfish or immature. You, however, have a distinctive smell of entitlement. You graduated from college with no debt, and you work in the service industry. You have a two-income household with kids, and you can't make rent? Dude, that's on you. If you can't get a decent paying white collar job where you live, move. Find a workplace with daycare somewhere and go there. Your parents don't owe you anything after they paid for your college. Your parents spent that same amount of money on your education. Sounds like she worked her butt off to be able to go to that school. If you went to the cheapest college available and had to pay the same that she does for her Ivy League, then she's getting scholarships and you probably didn't. It is not your parents' responsibility to help you at all. It is their choice what to do with their money. You sound entitled and selfish, expecting your sister to give up part of her education for you. If you went to college, how can't you afford to pay rent? And what are you, in a service job? Did you finish school? I would say you should apologize to your sister and parents and figure things out. The government has plenty of ways they help people in your situation, from insurance to daycare. Also, daycare is expensive, so on top of your parents paying for your school, they also paid for your daycare? You're an adult. Act like it. This is a harsh reality, but it's a wake up call you need.